Good morning. I'm kind of blurry. Sorry. This might not be the best quality, but how are ya? It's Sunday and I had been eyeing this palette for a little bit and I finally pulled the trigger. The shipping was what was kind of making me nervous about pulling the trigger on this one, but it is the Charlie Betty Beauty, the Earth palette. It is a nice palette. I mean, it's super nice. It's got the latches. It really reminds me of some of Jeffree Star's, but there she is. This is a grunge lover's dream right here. Um, I, I felt like the Earth Day palette, deserved the kind of earthy-ish crown. Let me try to wipe my camera. Hang on. Is that better? I don't know if that's better. Hey, Cindy. Good morning. Okay, so I am going to swatch this palette for you guys. Shipping actually was pretty quick to be coming from the UK. The palette itself was $28, but then it was like another 20 something for shipping. But, I mean, I pay 40 something, 50 something for Jeffree Stars. So, I mean, I kind of was like, eh. If you're new here, welcome to Mentally Unstable Makeup. I am your host, Unstable Tony. And I use makeup as a therapeutic way to, deal with my mental health issues. So, I'm just going to go across the top row here and do swatches. Now, you guys know I am not the best at swatching. Like, I don't know how to turn my wrist to where you guys can see whatever, but I'm gonna do my best. As you can see, I am pasty. I'm a pasty girl. Excuse the cat scratches. Yesterday was Catterday. At my job, I work at a grooming shop. And cats aren't always the friendliest. So, okay, so the first row, it starts with a really pretty shimmer. Hang on, there's 5 shimmers, and the rest are all mattes. But, I mean, the palette is beautiful. So, I'm hoping it's decent. Now, all the videos and stuff that I saw on YouTube and like a lot of the Instagram posts, everybody used the greens. So I'm going to not use the greens. I'm going to try to use this, over here away from the greens, which if y'all know me, that's pretty nudie patootie for me. But we're going to try to knock out a pretty look. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to try to go across. I'm not going to do the names just because, I don't know, I feel like nobody really cares about the names. But there's the first 4. So it's, ooh, that's pretty. So that first shimmer is more of like a topper shimmer than it is a, like it's not a super foiled, but I mean, I hope my lighting will pick it up. And then this shade right here is called Virgo, but I mean, I have that issue with a lot of palettes. I'm so pale that a lot of like lighter pastel colors don't show up on my skin. But it would be a great like transition or like a help blending shade. So I'm not mad at it. I'm glad it's in there. And then there's 2 more on the top row. So they feel very smooth. See, I can't ever swatch. They feel very smooth. But you guys know, like, I don't normally do swatches just because the way that things apply with your finger on skin like this versus the way they apply on with a brush is always very different. So, I mean, even when I see swatches, on Instagram and stuff like that, it's not always a true depiction of how well a shadow is going to do, even if it's kind of streaky on the arm and all that. So this is the next 4. I'm hoping this red is good. So when I look for a red, I want a really rich red. I mean, these are kind of, look, I can never, can you see it? So a lot of times with reds, they look really red in the pan, but then when I apply them, they start to turn orangey. But again, we'll see how this does with a brush, because it may do differently with a brush. At least that's my hoping. This next shimmer that I'm going to swatch is called Ivy. I hope it's as pretty on as it is in this pan, because it is a pretty color. Ooh, it's not bad. Just a really dark forest green. Oh, and it swatches beautifully. I can't. Let me do that again. Let me do it on this side. There we go. Much better. That's a beautiful green. It's got, it's hard to pick up with my lights and all that stuff, but it's got almost like a orangey, like gold flecks in it in person. This next row, I hope this yellow's good. We're gonna find out. So the shimmers are not as foiled and as pretty as like Kaleidos, but they are pretty. And I may be able to bring out more of that, because I mean on the finger, like, isn't that pretty? So with glitter glue, I may be able to really intensify those shimmers. And that's my hope anyways. And that's very common for a lot of palettes. And these are the last two. And I hope you guys can see these, because again, I suck at swatches. So just a really pretty golden yellow shimmer. All right, hang on. So like I said, everybody on Instagram and the few YouTube videos that I saw with this palette, everybody did the green. So I'm going to try really hard not to do the green. I'm going to try to stay on the other side of the palette. And y'all know I love a green, so this is going to be really hard. But I want to do something different than what everybody else is doing. So bear with me. Hey, Kelly. Hey, guys. Good morning. I know I haven't done a live or posted a look in a really long time. I've been working a lot. I will give you guys a little bit of an update with my son, which if you're new here, about 90% of my videos are me discussing the mental health system and my special needs son. Just to kind of quickly recap, because a lot of you already know, he's in a mental health facility. He's doing okay. He did have an incident last week where he got very physical with another peer. But we're doing better than we were. So I don't know. Their plan is to still transition him down to a little bit lower level of care. Right now he's in a level 4 and they're looking for a level 3, but I'm fighting really hard because I want it to be the right level 3. And the type of therapy that he's going to need, I need to make sure that this next place is able to provide that for him. So I'm still battling. But I feel like that's just kind of the way it is now. On top of that, I'm also dealing with my grandmother. She's 81, and she has dementia really bad and Parkinson's, and she falls a lot. And last week she fell and ended up with 10 staples in the back of her head. She's broke bones in her face and all that. So I'm kind of dealing with that. And I shared that a little bit on my regular page, and I noticed that a lot of y'all are actually dealing with that as well. So thank you for all of you who were like, I feel you, I'm going through it too. Hang in there, you know, because I mean, what else can you do? All right, so I am going to, man, the only problem with this like not going into any of these greens is I'm not really sure what to pair together. I mean, these are a lot of like browns. I mean, that would go with this yellow, but it's also going to be really hard for me to... I may still have to dig into some of these greens just because, you know, that's what I need to do. But I'm going to try really hard not to do like the green look like everybody else is doing. I'm going to go into this yellow. And I'm going to put that on the first inner port. Okay, so she dusty. She dusty. But a lot of palettes are. But, I mean, she's pigmented. You see that? That's pretty good. I don't mind dusty as long as it's pigmented, which, okay, all right, she's good. With the Earth palette is what it's called, my plan is to do kind of a grungy look today. I don't know, I'm feeling kind of grungy look. So, if grunge attire, if grunge aesthetic, is that right? Is it aesthetic? I don't know. If that's not your forte, then this look is not going to be for you. But sometimes I just feel like being grungy. So I'm going to go a little dark grunge today. But look, I mean, that went on great. And I mean, I barely even had to dip in. If you notice when I dip into a shade, I always tap it on the side of my palette or my dresser or whatever. And that's to knock off any of the loose powder so that when I go to apply it, it's not like falling off into my face. So if you have a palette that you really enjoy the color story and it's kind of dusty, then just be sure to tap your brush off. And that will help with fallout. But that yellow went on fantastic. Wow. Kind of excited about that. Okay, so I'm going to, as I always start lighter in this part of my eye, and as I go out, I get darker. So I'm going to use a brown. I'm going to go into this one right here. I'm going to use the same exact brush. A lot of times I will use a different brush for each shade just because if I need to go back and add more of that yellow, I can do that without having to like wipe off the brush and all of that. But because I'm trying to mesh these two together, I kind of want some of the yellow that's left on here to kind of mesh in with that brown just to help with the blending of those two colors. That blended together beautifully. I really haven't been able to do makeup in a while since Wednesday. Because I've been, like I said, I've been working so much, and I work a lot in a lot of water and with a blower and all of that. And so it kind of, you know, the doggies lick all over me and stuff. So it's kind of hard to put makeup on, for one, because I get there super freaking early in the morning. But for two, it ends up looking a hot mess by the end of the day because I'm in so much water. And I mean, my makeup stays pretty good, but I mean, when you're in that much water, you really can't. There's really not anything you can do. So, this one was a blending brush, a fluffy blending brush. I'm going to do another big fluffy blending brush like that, but I'm looking for something a little bit more densely packed. Here we go. So it's still a big fluffy blending brush, but it's there's more bristles in this, so it's a little bit stiffer or denser. It's not as loose, and that's just because I really want to try to concentrate the color where I need it. And using a more packed brush helps you control it a little bit, or at least I think so anyways. So now I'm going to go into the next darkest shade, which is this one right here. And they look very similar in color. So I'll be interested to see how similar they look once you apply them. And I'm going to go into that. And I'm just going to dip in, coat my brush really good, and then tap off so that there's no excess. Are you guys disappointed that I'm not doing the green in this palette? That seems to be the most popular, like, grouping of this palette, but I have green palettes. Like, my favorite green right now palette is the Blood Money palette. I love that dang thing. It is so pretty. So, I mean, I have several greens already. Y'all know I love green, so I just really didn't want to use any of the greens. I wanted to try to use something different. And this is blending together beautifully with very little effort. I'm really kind of impressed. I'm going to take that same shade and I'm just going to bring down to my lower lash line about halfway. I'm not going to go all the way across. I'm just going to bring it down to this corner, and that's because I'm going to go into I'm going to go into the next darker brown, and I'm going to really deepen up this outer corner. So I'm just kind of laying this down to give me a little bit of shape. But I'm only going about halfway. I'm not going all the way across, and that's because I'm going to take a lighter color and go down in that part. So now for deepening up, I want to concentrate on this outer corner and then pull into my crease a little bit. So this is still going to be a blending brush, but it's going to be much smaller in diameter. So like here's what I was using, and then this is what I'm going to grab to stay. And that's just, again, so that I can really concentrate that dark on this outer corner, because I want to leave lid space to do my shimmer. So now I'm going to go into the darkest brown, and I'm just going to use that to deepen up my outer corner. And I try to do this no matter what look I'm doing. So even if I'm doing green or purple or whatever, I will take the darkest shade that I have, and I will use it to deepen up. You can also use a gray or a black if you don't have a darker of the color you're looking for, and it will help darken it. And so I just concentrate that on the outer corner, and I just bring it in my crease. Now those two shades look very similar, but I promise you it's just enough different to add depth. And by depth, I mean just to make it come out. I don't know if that's translating on camera very good, but I can see it in person. And I'm just, once I concentrate most of the pigment on the side where I want it, then I'm taking the excess that's left on it and pulling it into my crease. So it's not as intense in my crease as it is on that outer corner. And sometimes I have to angle my brush around so that I can bring it up into that transition, into those lighter colors just a little bit. Can y'all tell what that did? I hope so. So I'm going to take the same exact brush. I'm going to go into that darker brown, and I'm going to concentrate this on my really up tight close to my lower lash line. And again, I don't know if it's going to translate on camera very good, but in person, I'm telling you, it makes a big difference. And I have to go by feel for this. I can't, because if I open my eye while I try to do that, it always flakes off into my eye, and then my eyes start watering really bad. So I really go off of feel for that. I don't really look at what I'm doing. Okay, so this is that brush that I did that lighter shade in, and I'm just going to take it and gently rub it at the bottom of this, and that's just because I want to blend that darker and that lighter just a little bit so that it just looks like it goes together a little bit better. Okay, so I know that I was going to stay away from the green, but I'm going to do a green on this second half right here. That's why I didn't come all the way over. And this brush right here is a Eco Tools, and on the side of it, on the other side of it, it's got this flat brush, and it's tightly packed, so it's stiff, very stiff. And I use that on my lower lash line because I'm really trying to concentrate that in a small area. And when I use a big blender brush down here in this little area, I tend to get down too far, and I don't like the way that looks. And I'm going to go into Patchouli, which is this green right here. And I'm just going to coat my brush. Now, when I coat these types of brushes, I coat the side, and then I go in with the tip. And then again, I tap off. And I'm just going to run this. Oh, God, that is pigmented. And I'm just going to run that into the first half. So tapping on the edge and then tap on the top. Wow. That's a good shade. And do y'all see what I mean? Like when you saw my swatches, when you saw my swatches, when you saw my swatches of like this yellow and these browns and stuff, they kind of looked streaky and they didn't look that great, but look how they're applying with the brush. They're applying beautifully. So I'm going to go back with that brush that I did that yellow and that light brown, and I'm just going to gently rub that underneath right here just to blend that, and then right where those two colors meet, just because I'm trying to get those to blend so that it doesn't look like I have this like line of color. And if you blend too much, don't worry, because you can just go back with the green and just keep going back and forth until you like the way that it blends out like that. Okay, here's the exciting part. So I'm going to use my glitter glue, which is the NYX, it says glitter primer. I've used it forever. I love it. This is my favorite. It only takes a teeny bit. And I mean a teeny bit. So like this tube's going to last me a hot minute. It will probably go bad before it goes out for me. Now granted, I don't do my makeup every single day like I used to. So that might be why. But they're cheap. I love that stuff. So this is a rounded, flat brush. And I just dip into half of the amount that I have there, and then I kind of tap it on my hand just so that it's an even coat, so that I don't have like a blob of the glitter primer. And I'm just going to like dab this where I want it. You do have to be very careful with this glitter primer because anywhere that it touches, that shimmer is going to stick there. And so I take the rounded tip part and I just run that right in my crease and bring it up a little bit, and I'll tell you why I do that. I have hooded eyes, so when I open my eye, anything that's on my lid is going to transfer up there anyways. So by putting the primer there, it makes it look like I meant for it to go there instead of it just transferred because I have hooded eyes. So that's just something that I have to do because of my dreaded hooded eyes. So I just kind of, almost like you see people cutting the crease, I'm cutting the crease with this primer, with this glitter glue. And then here lately, I've even been taking any of the excess and just pressing it in my inner corner a little bit. And that's because I'm going to put a highlighter there. And it helps to make that highlighter stick there and really pop. I'm going to take the same exact brush with the stuff on it, and I'm going to go into my shimmer, and that's what I'm going to apply. And I know that I said I was going to stay away from the green, but I want this all over my lid. It's a shade called Ivy, and it's the one that swatched really pretty. So we'll see what happens when it goes onto the glitter glue. Yep. So this is a gorgeous, gorgeous, grungy green. And like I said, it's got like an yellowy gold flecks to it almost. Not like a duochrome, but it's definitely there. You can definitely see it. So if you see me, and I'm tilting my head back and down and all of that, it's because, can you see these wrinkles? So I have to make sure that I get the shadow into those wrinkles. Otherwise, when I close my eye, there's little gaps in my makeup, little creasy gaps. And so I really have to be sure that I am packing whatever shimmer shade that I'm using. I have to make sure that I'm really packing it into those wrinkles so that I don't get those weird gaps. And if you saw me, I take and I just run that brush just like I did with the primer. But see what I mean? When I open my eyes, it transfers up there anyways, but this way it looks like I kind of meant for it to be there. And then I just take it into the outer a little bit. And this outer side, because there's no glitter primer there, it's not going to stick quite as intense. So it almost looks like it, you know, fades into it, so to speak. I'm going to go back with that small, tiny one into that dark brown. And I'm just going to apply a little bit more right here to this outer edge, right into that green shimmer. And that's just because I'm trying to make sure that that blend over there is good. Y'all, she pretty. And like I said, this is a little bit more nudie patootie than I'm used to. But I think I made it work. So that brush that I used for the yellow, I'm going to go back into it gently. Really tap it off. And I'm just going to run this across the very top, just to kind of blend it up. So that it kind of blends up. So I'm dipping in, I'm really tapping off. And then I'm just going to blend it right on the top of where I place those other colors, just to help with that blend. And y'all know, I am not a makeup artist. This is just how I do my makeup. All right. So I think I'm going to take this honeysuckle, that's right here, and I'm going to use a small rounded blending brush, and I'm going to spray it with my setting spray. I have the Morphe, but I mean, you can use whatever you want. And that's mainly just to keep it, keep the shimmer on here so that it doesn't flake all off. And I'm really going to coat this brush all the way, the sides, the tip. I mean, I'm going to coat it all the way around. Tap it off. And I'm going to use that as my inner corner highlight. Oh my gosh. Boop. She pretty. Now, is this Give Me Glow inner corner highlight goodness? No, it's not, but it is pretty. It's very pretty. And I think that it goes really good with the rest of this look. So I'll take it. And then I'm going to take a little bit more, and I'm just going to highlight right under my fake brows that I drew on this morning. Because if I don't draw them on, I ain't got nothing. Yep. Anybody else? No? Just me? Okay. And I don't like this blend, so I'm just going to go over this a little bit more. There we go. I think that's going to be it for the eye look. I'm going to use... Do I want a grungy green eyeliner or do I want a light color? What do y'all think? I think I'm going to go dark. I'm going to go dark. Hang on. Let me find my dark green. Where is it? So I got these a long time ago. They're probably expired. But they're Laura Geller. This one is in Green River. But it's just a really dark hunter green shade. These are pretty good. They're definitely not as good as my ColourPop gel liners, but these are pretty good. They go on decently, and they stay really well. So they don't quite go on as creamy as the ColourPop, but if I wanted to brighten this look up, I could have done a yellow. I could have done like a lime green eyeliner. So if you ever want to brighten a eye look up, you can always use a light eyeliner, and it will help really brighten a look up. And then, guys, I still love this eyeliner. I mean, this mascara. This is the Proof by Jeffree Star. I still really like this. It's a good eyeliner. And I keep saying eyeliner. It's a good mascara. And it's fun. It's fun. But it's good mascara. So if you haven't picked this up, try it. You might really, really like it. The way that the brush is on this, it really helps separate and lengthen. I don't feel like it adds volume, so to speak. Like some of the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes, I feel like that really helps also give me volume. But this is a cute mascara, and I've wore it several times now. I've not had an issue with it clumping or flaking off. I don't feel like, oh no. I don't feel like it damages my lashes when I go to wash it off with, like, some of the waterproof mascaras that I've tried. They would be really good, but then when I would go to wash them off, because it was so hard to get off, it would like rip out my lashes too. And so I stopped using those. But I haven't had that issue with this, knock on wood. So it's been really, really good. I use this on my little tiny lashes. After I stab myself in the eye. On the inside right here. Oh, I really got myself in the eye. My eye's watering. But I'm still in love with my Pretty Vulgar for the outside. And that's just because it really adds volume and length. Sorry, I just poked myself in the eye with that mascara wand. But as you notice, even though I poked myself in the eye, and my eye started watering, you notice it didn't like bleed and transfer and all that. Sometimes with some of the other ones I've done, if my eye starts watering, my mascara starts running all over my eyeballs. So I use this on the outside, and this is definitely expired. I really need to get a new one, but I don't want to go to Pretty Vulgar's website and just buy a mascara for $26 freaking dollars. I don't know why. Like, I don't know why that's such an issue for me, but it is. So I'm just going to keep using it until it really starts to smell funky. Or it gives me an eye infection. And then I will get rid of it. Okay, so for my lips, at first I was gonna do like a brownie lip to go with this eye look, but somebody, and I'm sorry, forgive me, I don't remember the name, but somebody tried to do a gray lip and said that it kind of turned a little purple or bluish. And so I have a gray liquid lipstick that I absolutely love, and I'm going to put that on so that I can show you what that actually looks like and show you why I love that one. This is the LA Girl Ultimate Intense Stay Auto Liner in Keep It Spicy. That's my favorite lip liner. Super cheap, affordable, and it's fabulous. And I don't know if you saw, but do you see this like ridge right here at the top of my lip? I have one at the bottom too. That's where I line my lip. So it's not in my lip. It's just right on that ledge. And that helps me overline my lip without looking like I drew on my lip. Does that make sense? So I just follow that ledge. And I mean, you can see how much bigger this side looks than this side. And that is how I fake bigger, fuller lips without looking like I drew fake lips on. My nose is running and peeling. Okay, so my favorite gray lipstick is called Dress Code, and it's by Sugarpill. It is gray, but as you wear it throughout the day, it starts to have like glittery gold flecks in it. Always, always, always shake and warm up your liquid lipsticks, especially because some of us wear the same color every day, but for those of us that have like 60 freaking liquid lipsticks and we don't wear them every day, warm them up in your hand. Warm them up, warm them up, warm them up. Shake them. You can even take the wand out and kind of like do this number to help mix it up. But definitely do that, especially with one that you've not worn in a while. And it'll help like mix it back together. I love the way Sugarpills smell. It smells like Fruit Loops. I use the tip and I follow that line yet again and then fill in. So I'm going right over top of where I lined. And then I fill in. Oh. And I accidentally stabbed myself, so hang on. But this is my favorite gray lip, and I'm sorry I can't remember who posted that. I suck at names. So I use that tip to follow that line. I also make sure that there's a decent amount of product on that tip and not that hair. I have a boogie. Don't look. And then I just fill in. So, that's it, guys. First impressions. I have to be honest. I really am kind of shocked at how good that went on. I mean, those colors blended together beautifully. I didn't have any issues with them blending. This shimmer is really pretty. I mean, it's not as foiled as I like some of my shimmers, but it's still very pretty. And you see how it's that gold is kind of catching the light. I mean, that's pretty. So, so far I really like this. Now, I do have a lot of similar colors in other palettes. So, did I have to have it? Am I glad I have it? Yeah, I mean, I am. So if you are looking to support, you know, maybe a lesser known brand, this is the Earth Palette by Charlie Betty Beauty. And so far, I really like it. I'll be interested to see, like this is, it was a topper, but I'll be interested to see, I mean, that's gorgeous. That's beautiful. I'll be interested to see how that looks, with an actual eye look. Oh, okay. Oh, she pretty. Okay, but that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. Comment below if you have any questions about the palette, and I will try to answer the best I can, or the lip is fine. And as always, love yourselves, love each other, and have a fan-freaking-tastic Sunday. Bye.